Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 Mocks of the Week episode where I show you guys the coolest custom creations I happen to see people building in LEGO bricks throughout this last week. Links to everybody I'm talking about are in the description below. And remember, these are just my personal favorite builds presented in not particularly any order of best to worst. Before I jump in, first I do want to say that the custom building instructions that have gone up in the web store this week are from a first-time builder, at least working with us, Tommaso Kush, aka why.not, and he has built a folding LEGO Tie Outlander. It's a pretty rock solid gear system that runs through the entire body of the tie. There's folding landing gear at the bottom, and it's a pretty impressive little bit of brick engineering. Anyways, links to everything I'm talking about in the description below. Let's jump into some honorable mentions first. There's so many good ones to get through. I'm gonna go real fast. Marcus Robler did the 101 Bricks Liftoff. I love this dome shape build for Luke's hut by Fukusaku. I realized last week I didn't show a full view of Sean Snyder's massive castle, so here it is. It's super impressive. Malin Garrick's Imperial V-Wing looks extremely clean. The title of this is Reversal by Lego Fjatten. Hope I'm saying that right. Anyways, Woomy World's Avian Blossom is incredible. Ralph Salzberg reimagined the 1552 set. This in my mind is sort of like perfect minifigure scale for a truck like this. Here we have something simply titled Sorry by Lego 7. Here's a 6-stud wide Mercedes-Benz by RGB 900. Serial Eating Builder built some Lego UCS ties. Really interesting series of hinge connections to get that dome shape. From Christelle, this is Tigger's Treehouse. Very cartoony and approachable. Bartosz has a Paradise Speeder. Interesting color combo and shapes. And sticking with the speeders, this is the LSB21 Musical from Andreas Lenander. Tariel 1 has the Array. It's a digital build, but some great techniques. Gino Los's Chainsaw is extremely convincing. From Bricklios, this is Classic Space Arcade. Tim Inman's Eco Skyscraper has a wonderful organic look. And from Jens Orndorff, this is Flight Attempt Failed. Okay, those are the honorable mentions. Let's jump into my 10 favorites. From Marcus 1984-0420, this is the 6296 Shipwreck Island Remake set. He's been doing a lot of classic Pirates remake builds, and each one is more impressive than the next. Lots of people do great Lego water. This is probably some of my favorite water effects that I have seen for a Lego build. The wrecked hull sinks extremely well into the little sandbar here. We have a wonderful skull shape. And if you like pirate stuff, this guy is doing some amazing modern pirate sets that I highly recommend you take the time to check out if this is something you're interested in. Forlorn Empire has an amazing use of color for this build. This is the Storyteller's Terrace. Looks a bit sort of fantasy oriented. We've got what looks sort of like a wizard and these strange violet plants or structures that are kind of sticking up in small spires around the entrance to his library, it looks like. The hexagonal shape of the tree also gives you a weird sort of out-of-world fantasy feel, and the autumn colors juxtapose really well against the bright green bladed grass, no pun intended. Every piece of this little diorama makes every other part of it pop that much more. It's just got a really great balance here. And now we're looking at the Grand Hotel Kudalama from Aero Okkonen. Normally I'm showing off this builder's figure designs, but this is a designer with many talents, and there's all kinds of interesting architectural shapes created for this model. There's circular towers and spires that are sticking out of sloped roofs, side-built walls so you have a wonderful little curve on certain edges instead of sharper corners. In general, the dark red really contrasts well against the primary color of white. In the description, he says it's inspired by Finnish early 20th century architecture, and it really is a series of shapes that we don't see quite built in Lego bricks like this very often. From Zach Sweigart, this is a Wild White Dragon Reinforces USMF. That is the title. And there's really quite a lot of lore behind this ship. He's got a lot of really excellent spaceship designs that he's popped up with recently. And this is just my personal favorite of the most recent posts he's made. There's a thickness and beefiness to this ship that really makes it feel like it could take some actual damage, like if it was fighting in real life. There's a wonderful simplicity with those two gigantic miniguns on either side of the cockpit. It really just makes this thing look like it needs to go super fast, get on the tail of another enemy ship, and absolutely obliterate it. There's some wonderful angles here. It's a very sleek, very aggressive model. You can check out the description if you want to learn more about the lore of his little universe. And now we're looking at yet another untitled project from the designer Why.not. Always, this designer has a lot of thought-provoking and profound imagery, and this one in particular is a bit more striking than most I've seen before. There's never any description, there's never any guidance on what you're supposed to be interpreting here. You can see the words outbreak on either side of the red dotted buildings. The wings of this creature seem to have land and sky embodied in them. It's a moment captured in time, with the floor literally breaking out in the process of all the pieces flying out in every direction. There's light coming from above, there's light coming from below. It's just a strange and very well put together image. So anyways, I'll leave it up to you as far as what you think this image is that we're looking at, but I certainly know I like it, and it demonstrates an amazing skill with the bricks. Djokson's at it again with another absolutely awesome figure design. The title here is Smoke, so I think we can interpret that a little bit because a lot of these pieces are built with the trans black. Some are wind screens. We've got a lot of those sloped trans black pieces used on the shoulders and arms. I love the giant dish piece used to shadow or cover the face. And of course, there's a pretty strong influence of maybe old school samurai armor with just some basic color highlights of yellow. It's just got a cool vibe. This is probably my favorite figure builder in Lego bricks right now. Really, really interesting characters come from this builder. By the way, in case you're keeping track of the numbers, this is number 4 from GorillaGluedBricks. This is Pirates of the Tatooine. I absolutely loved seeing this build when it first popped up in my feed. It's pretty rare that we have genre bending within the Star Wars universe, at least when it comes to like fun mock builds. But this is a super good example of just like someone really having fun with the Star Wars universe and pirates. There's floating islands. We've got a floating desert skiff looking vehicle that's been converted into a pirate ship with like the torn sails. Pirate droids that are hopping across trying to jump onto the island. The stand itself has a lot of interesting weird details on the sides. It's mechanical, but it's also organic, and there's a bit of underground tunnels hidden there with skeletons and treasure, just like your classic pirate sort of theme, and it just looks like fun. I think the person who put this together had a ton of fun making this model. Let's jump into the world of micro builds. Number 3 is from Roanoke Handybuck, and the title is Meek Creek Village. The world of micro building always forces a designer to play around with certain pieces and really force yourself to see shapes that otherwise wouldn't initially pop out to you. And that's exactly what we have here. Minifigure hands make up the wheat. There's also a fun build for a tree with horns and minifigure hands. Tons of wand pieces that are all point down that make up the fun little fence. White horns and teeth make up the white water of the waterfall. Everything is bright. It looks all really clean and well put together. And it's surprising to see that these are made of just the same Lego bricks as all the other larger builds. There's really a lot communicated in this small area. Now, number 2 is easily the most fun build of the week. Johan Hendrix built the Stay Puft Maxfig. It's a work in progress still, according to the description, and I never actually heard the term Maxfig until just now. The smiling face is perfect. The style of the brick-built minifigure is a little bit different than the more recent Harry Potter figs that we just saw pictures for. I think it's a little smaller, but still just as clean. And this would be kind of a perfect build to have next to your Ghostbuster minifigure collection. It's a really, really fun model. I definitely would love to have this thing built in our studio. And now let's check out the last giant model in the lineup. This is from CRCT Productions. This is the Lego Star Wars Operation Sandstone Episode 5, The Hospital. This model is built in conjunction with a larger series of Star Wars-based MOCs that all tell a bigger story, and this is easily one of the most impressive large-scale Star Wars MOCs I've seen all year. You can check out the link in the description below if you want a full description of the scene and what's actually happening here, but there is just so much awesome detail crammed into this, well, actually not so small space. What really makes it for me personally are the lit explosions and fire that you have built into the model. The light also contrasts really well with the white LEDs that are based in the street lamps close-ups. The angles in the building are also quite seamless. The damage effects are built in incredibly well, and this is going to be a very hard Star Wars model to top by someone else. It's honestly so cool. There really should be some closer shots of this. I think I want to see some more details close up. But anyways, that's it for my personal top 10 favorite MOCs of the week. Let me know what you guys thought were the coolest ones in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can always like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever it is that you want to do. And we'll see you next time at BrickVault.